Hey everyone, DM Knight here, and today I got another build showcase video for you guys, and this time it's for Claptrap in the pre-sequel. And this build is called MEL3-TP. You might have seen this build already in my Melee Madness video. If you want to check that out, I'll leave a link in the description below. But yeah, as the name already tells you, this is a melee build for Claptrap. So going over the items here, I have the Phrygia, just because it's a nice freezing weapon. And of course on frozen enemies you'll get increased melee damage, so it's generally nice to use. Then the Probe, this is a Moxie weapon and you'll obviously get the lifesteal with this, so it's also generally really nice for melee builds. Then the Excalibastard. This weapon is pretty special because on critical hits it will freeze any enemy, even enemies that can't be frozen. So it's really nice to freeze enemies with, and on top of that it also creates a singularity effect when you hit an enemy with a melee attack, so it also works really nice for melee builds. Then a laser disco here for second winds mainly. Because obviously with a melee build you want to melee enemies, and in Fight for Your Life that's not always possible. So for long range second winds you'll have the laser disco here, which works really nice because of Claptrap's explosive boosts. Then the avalanche here, because this is the best droid shield in the game, and then a stormfront to stripe your shield. An acrobat os kit for the extra melee damage and also for the movement speed, and then a Robo Ninja class mod because this is Claptrap's melee com. So going over the spec here, this build is heavily focused on defensive skills. So here you have all the things are awesome, and this is indeed a pretty awesome skill because it will increase your max health by plus 50%, and the fire rate and weapon swap speed is also pretty nice. Then together with that you have this skill right here, which also increases your max health by 30%, plus 20% damage reduction, so these both combined make you pretty tanky. Then you'll have this skill plus Killbot over here, and these are going to be your main sources of healing. With this being 15%, up to 15% of your max health restored, and this up to 35% of your max health per kill. So with this you'll be able to tank enemies, and even if you go down you'll have skills like Best Buds for Life, which increases your fight for your lifetime by plus 25%, together with Blue Shell, which also increases your fight for your lifetime by plus 35%. And then if you'll get up, you'll have Kick Him While He's Up active, which gives you increased melee damage. So obviously this works really well with a melee build, and with Claptrap, going into Fight for Your Life can even be a good thing. Then over in this tree, you don't want to go for Repulsive because this will push enemies away from you and you won't be able to melee them. Then 1 point in Start with a Bang because this will keep your shield down, and it just works really well with Roid shields. And 1% of your current health together with all of your health boosts, that's basically nothing. So 1 point in here is definitely really good. Then Load and Explode here, 4 out of 5, just for the laser disco for some more damage. And then over in this tree you'll obviously have Float Like a Bee, which is your main melee skill with plus 66% melee damage. And on top of that you can get Robo-Derp, which increases your melee damage by plus 150%. And if you then combine this with Triple Clocked, you'll be able to deal massive amounts of melee damage. And the best combination, or the best thing about this combination of skills, is that with Float Like a Bee you'll be able to keep your frag stacks up. So if you have Robo-Derp, you can keep your stacks up with melee kills, which will give you 11 more stacks per kill. Then one skill you might think would be good on a melee build is Hyperion Punch over here, but honestly this skill just deals absolutely no damage, and it's pretty much just a waste of points, and it's also elemental locked, so you definitely don't want to spend your points in here, especially because to even get your Hyperion Punch stacks up, you'll have to spec into something like Coincidental Combustion, which again just wastes points, so you don't want to spec into this skill right here. But yeah, that's basically the spec for my melee trap build. So I'm here in the subconscious and we'll go through this map here with this build and kill some enemies. And right now I do actually have Roper Derp active, so that's pretty nice, so we'll be dealing a lot more melee damage. But honestly it's not really needed, you can also use this build without it. It's just some more extra damage. But one subroutine that's not really great with this is safety first, or rather the shield part of safety first, because that will regenerate your shields, and that's obviously pretty bad with a Roid shield. But other than that, pretty much any subroutine works, but as I said, Roper Derp will just give you some more damage. So as you can see, we are easily killing enemies here. One thing that's really awesome about Claptrap is that he can just constantly use the Phrygia and doesn't have to swap to the probe like Athena does because of his healing skills, so you'll have a much easier time freezing enemies and dealing more damage. Okay, he actually fell down there. Yeah, as you can see there, one melee kill pretty much brings me back to full health. And if you catch something like a damage over time or something, you kinda also have a panic button, which is Claptrap's action skill, which will then refill your health. But it's kinda risky, of course, because you're not guaranteed to get a good action skill out of it. So I pretty much only use it when I'm really low health and don't have a way of healing myself. So we'll go over here and kill some more enemies. Like right there. Okay, Laser Inferno, that's not really too bad. But I guess pretty much any Claptrap build has this kind of RNG factor to it. So if you play Claptrap, you should be used to that, I guess. Okay, he decides to kill himself, or rather fly to his death, so that's fine with me. Oh, and we actually lost the Roper Derp subroutine here. Which is a bad thing, but I guess I can show you that it's not needed and you can still kill enemies without it. Okay, these were some trash mobs, but over here are 3 relatively strong turrets, so you'll see here. Okay, let's hope I don't go down here. Okay, wait for my action skill here. Yeah, this isn't necessarily his best action skill. Alright, there we go. So let's kill these 2 mini bosses here, I guess. So let's see how much damage this will deal. So as you can see, that's not too bad. Okay, maybe I should switch to the probe here. So yeah, this build definitely a pretty good choice for a Claptrap build. I really enjoy this build, and I've seen people telling me that melee in the pre-sequel is underpowered because of the Roid shield nerf that was in the past, but honestly that's just not true. It's still a very viable playstyle. Of course it won't compare to things like explosive Claptrap or something like that, but it's viable and it's fun, so that's what counts. And freezing enemies with a shield sucks. So we'll kill this guy here. There we go. So yeah, that's basically my melee trap build. Yeah, let me know if you guys have any more builds you want me to showcase. This build was actually requested by someone in the comment section of one of my previous videos. But yeah, I'll go through the items here again. And the spec, and of course no bar. So yeah, thanks for watching everyone, and see ya!